Hi, I'm Jay Fear. Welcome back to the Sarah O'Connell Show.
Welcome to the Sarah O'Connell Show.
Jayfia, welcome back to the Sarah O'Connell Show. How are you today?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, thank you very much.
Good. Now, for anyone that doesn't know, this interview will be a bit different from my others because we've known each other pretty much since birth. We grew up on the same street and we've always been friends. Our families are friends, still friends with your entire family. And so to start with, can you tell me a bit about you, what you do, what is your job, that kind of thing?
Yeah, I've lived with my wife, Deb, we've been together since 1997. We married in 2001, got two wonderful children, Jess and Sam. Jess is 18, Sam's 16. I work for a company we're a compressed air service provider. So we look after companies who use compressed air systems and we service them, repair them, maintain them, and do whatever we have to do to keep these guys going in their businesses. To cut it short.
It's amazing. So if anyone wants compressed air, they should go to you.
100%, please.
The compressed air king.
Definitely.
Should have like a whole coronation for this.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
That's a great idea, actually. And we'll do it not next week, the week after, so we can all have another bank holiday.
It's a good idea. And we can go through the Burger King drive-through, get a hat.
Yes. Yeah, and also you're not a king, I'm the king. I'm actually a lord.
Are you?
Yes. My very good friend Mike Turnbull, through all this the other day, because he's been absolutely loving everything that's been happening with this whole Ryan Reynolds situation. So he thought, what can I do for Jay? What can I do? Because he's like a lord. He's like Lord J Dog. And he went, Lord. And he typed in Lord on Google and he went, oh my God, you can buy a lordship. And he actually bought me a lordship. So I'm actually Lord J Fear. And if I want to, I own a small piece of land in Scotland somewhere, apparently. Yeah. And if I wanted to, I can fill out this bit of paper and it would officially give me the title of Lord.
It's very exciting. So does that mean you can build a very narrow, thin building extending up to space on your bit of land?
Yeah, I think it's be like a postage stamp, but I can go up and up and up and up. Where it stops, I don't know. I suppose space is infinite, so I can make it as high as I want.
Exciting. Well, that's next week planned, isn't it?
Give that a go.
So I was devastated, as everyone was, when I heard that you had cancer and indeed terminal cancer as it now is. Can you tell us when you first found out you had cancer and about that whole journey for you?
Yeah, sure. Well, in October of 2021, I become really, really ill. I was off work for 2 weeks, I never have 2 weeks off work, but I couldn't eat and I was in a lot of abdominal pain. Phone appointment with the doctors at first, they thought it was gastrointestinal flu. The following week, I phoned up and I was a bit like, yeah, I'm still not feeling very well. Whoop, out comes a phone from my hand. And Debbie's there like, no, this is no good. He needs to be seen. He's not well. So they got me an appointment for 4 o'clock that night up to see a doctor. And he checked me over and he said, look, you've got an infection somewhere. I don't know where it is, but you need to go to hospital. So with that, I went straight up to the general. And unfortunately, he was trying to get me to go through A&E. He was trying to get me to go straight on a ward, but they wanted me to go straight through A&E because it sounded surgical. So I spent 6 hours in A&E, which was just torture. It was the worst thing ever. Eventually got through and they did a CT scan. And then the following morning, they took me down to surgery and all they did was they fit a drain into my appendix because it turned out that my appendix had burst and it had abscessed. So that was what was making me ill. I was being poisoned. And when I come up from surgery, there was a load of doctors stood there, and this guy started telling me about, what's happened. And he said, every now and again, it's very rare, but there's a tumor that is actually in with the appendix. And I thought, what are you talking to me about this for? And then he just said, and that's what you've got. And I'm a bit like, what? Really? So it took me a little while to process that information. And then I just had a huge panic attack. And it was only the reason for the panic attack was because I thought, how the hell am I going to tell my wife I've got cancer?
Yeah, of course.
And that was like, because normally you would go through the whole procedure together, wouldn't you? And then you'd get told together that you've got cancer. Well, I didn't. I was on my own, and I'm like, what the hell am I going to do? So this oncology doctor come and saw me, and she sort of asked me, what's going on, and I told her, look, I'm really worried about having to tell my wife. So she kindly told Deb for me, and then Deb come up to the hospital, and obviously it was all quite emotional, but that was the beginning of the journey, really. Moving on to November, I went to see a specialist because I was in hospital, for nearly 3 weeks in Southampton. Got my blood infection level. So moving on to November, and then I went to see a specialist surgeon for the colorectal operations in Basingstoke. And I thought I was going to be having like an endoscopy or something to try and see what this cancer, or if it was cancer. And he just said, no, I'm not going to put you through all that, because at the end of the day, we're going to remove it anyway. So it doesn't matter. I don't need to know what it is. I'm taking it out.
Yeah.
So basically they called me and said, okay, on the 20th of December, we're going to take you in. You'll have a couple of days where different people are going to want to come and see you. And then 22nd of December, we'll operate on you, which they did. And it was a 10-hour operation. So my poor family, I was all right. I fell asleep and woke back up.
Yeah.
But these guys obviously had to, try and find something to do for 10 hours to take their mind off of it. Come out of it all right. Cancer was removed. Everyone was happy. So it was half my bowel and a load of other bits and pieces there to take away. And then I stayed in hospital for 3 weeks then, just while they got me fit enough to get out. And then that was cancer-free from there. It took me another 5 months to get back to work, just because of recovery. And I got back to work. I started a new job in October because when you've been through something like what I've been through, you sort of realize you need to be really, really, really happy at work.
Yeah, of course.
And I was happy at my other place. It was a great place to work, but I just knew that I was as far as I was going to get. I wasn't going to be able to make any more of myself. So another guy I'd known for 25 years, he just said to me, look, I'd never dream of poaching you from these other guys. He said, but obviously, if you're ever unhappy and you want to move, I haven't got a job for you, but I would create one for you, which I thought was lovely. So I had a chat with him, and we were right. I joined him in October, and then we were right in the middle of setting up a new premises in Old Sarum, because they're based in Arundel. So we were just making a new branch in Old Sarum near Salisbury. Just about to sign the lease on that, and that's when I had the phone appointment from my oncologist to say, look, you've had your CT scan done in December. We've noticed a mass where the tumor was removed, and there was also a couple of nodules in your lungs. Can you come along next week for a face-to-face? So I said, yeah, sure. Took Deb with me, and then we had a face-to-face, and I don't know, I just sort of had this feeling something wasn't right. So there was a lot of people in the room, a lot of people. And then the oncologist eventually come in, and he started talking to me, and he said, look, you've got your cancer's come back, which I knew it was the cancer. I mean, what possibly was going to come back in the same place that they'd removed cancer from, you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
He said, your cancer's come back. You've also got 2 lumps of it in your lung as well. He said, now, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to treat this. Which I thought, okay, so am I going to have to battle with this? It's not like leukemia where you have to have it for years and years and years.
Yeah.
So I just asked the question like halfway through and said, am I going to die from this then? And he said, yes, I believe you will. I was like, okay. I said, how long would you say I've got? And he went, well, I didn't want to tell you this. He said, but because you've asked, I will. He said that I would say it's months rather than years. And that's when Debbie absolutely lost her start. She lost it. I mean, as you would do if it was your partner.
Yeah, of course.
I would be the same. I would absolutely lose it. So that was over 3 months ago, coming up to nearly 4 months ago. I wouldn't say I've deteriorated at all. I still get a bit of pain because where the tumor is, it pinches a nerve.
Yeah.
So I'm getting a lot of pain in my sort of hips and thigh and leg and groin area. So I'm on gabapentin, but I spoke to my nurse and I spoke to my doctor last night actually, and I'm not getting very very much sleep at night. I'm really struggling because of the pain at night. All day long, I seem to be fine. As soon as I'm led down, settled for bed, it's starting to hurt, it's starting to nag. I mean, particularly on Saturday night after the football, I pulled dead because I sleep on the sofa at the moment just so she can get a night's sleep because I like to have the telly on as well. She doesn't really like the TV on. If I'm sat there all night not being able to fall asleep, it's not much fun in a dark room. So until I'm feeling up to it, I'll go back. So they prescribed me a sedative as well now. So I have all these gabapentin tablets, all these paracetamols, dihydrocodeines during the day, and then I'll have a sedative at night. Hopefully that just puts me out to sleep. So hopefully starting that tonight. And that's pretty much where we are now.
Well, best of luck with that. It sounds like with all those tablets, you won't have much space for dinner.
To be honest, I can't sneak up on you because I rattle.
Yeah.
Not like when a cat jingles at the bell. I'm like that. I said that to my doctor the other day because he prescribed me another tablet. I went, another tablet? I said, are you kidding me? I can't creep up on anyone now. And he laughed.
It's an absolute nightmare. And so I was heartbroken when I first heard the news, as of course everyone was. And I remember reaching out to you and, you know, your brothers and everyone else to start with. And I was thinking, what could I do to support you in any way? And the first thing that happened was there was one of your friends set up a GoFundMe for you, which was amazing. And I read all of the comments of so many people love you. And it was just so great to see that. How did that feel? Just because, you know, you don't know what other people think about you all the time. You know who your friends and your family are and stuff like that. But it's only when you have terrible situations that you really sort of find out who cares. And what was your thoughts on that?
Do you know what? I didn't think that many people liked me, if I'm honest. You know, I didn't think I was disliked by people, but I didn't realise as many people cared about me as they do. I was blown away, to be honest, Sarah. I was absolutely blown away because everyone says the same thing when you're dying. Everyone, and God forbid anyone out there listening to this, if it happens to you, God forbid, everyone will say the same to you. I don't know what to say. And to everyone that has said that to me, I've simply said, you don't have to say anything. Just knowing that you love and you care means a lot, you know, and it does, you know, God's honest truth. The fact that it's like so many people do care. And like you said, you read those comments. You know, I've been reading comments as well on a different thing, and my God, it's you know, it's amazing the things that people say for you. And yeah, it's nice. I mean, you feel like you must have lived your life right, because I don't think people would have said the things about me had I not done the right thing, you know, if that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not saying I've been perfect by any stretch of the imagination. I've fell out with people, don't get me wrong, like everyone else has, but there's not too many people that I've fell out with. And those people, actually, I've had a few of them coming up to me now and reaching out and, you know, saying they regret things. And, you know, and that's lovely as well, because you feel like you're getting a bit of peace, because I don't want to fall out with anyone, really. So yeah, that was nice.
Yeah, it's amazing. And yeah, as I say, you've always been very special to me and your entire family. And I was trying to think what else I could kind of do. And I knew that you always loved Star Wars. Like from a kid, I know you collected the toys and watched the movies, and you still talk about it all the time. So I reached out to Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker, and managed to get you a little message from him.
That was amazing.
Yeah, and then I was still kind of thinking, well, I can still think of stuff. What else can I do? And then I was thinking, well, I've got this show and I interview people. And then I was thinking, maybe not a public thing, because you hadn't done anything public at all at that point, which we will get to. But I kind of thought I'd reach out to you and just see if you'd like to do a private interview, just to celebrate your life and have something that your friends and family can keep, and just share stories with you and all that good stuff, and just have a really nice conversation. And I was so delighted, first of all, when you said you wanted to do that.
Yeah, I couldn't say no. I just thought it was such a great idea. I thought that, it's something that, like you said, my family can then look back on. I mean, yeah, okay, it took us 2 evenings, around about 4 hours, but then to be fair, we've got a lot of history. So you had a lot of questions that you wanted to ask, because I suppose normally with your guests, you don't really know them, so you don't know certain personal information. But with you and me, you had some excellent questions that you asked, and I thought it was brilliant. I really did. I really enjoyed every minute of that, and it was nice reminiscing about old things as well.
It was. And yeah, as you say, we recorded the first one on the 2nd of March and the second one on the 9th. And I think by the time I edited it all together, it's about 3 hours and 8 minutes. And we had conversations either side of the interview, as we probably will during this one as well. But another thing happened that week. So in between the two interviews that we did together, I went to the O2 Arena and saw Ryan Reynolds, because he was there. He was in the country. He was doing this one-off chat on stage with Rob Delaney. And of course, I wanted to go and see that. I've always loved Ryan Reynolds and supported Wrexham and Aviation Gin, and we've spoken online and all that good stuff too. And so Ryan came up during our interview. And that's when I found out that you were a huge fan of Ryan Reynolds and Deadpool. I remember you said to me he was on your bucket list.
Yeah.
And that stuck with me afterwards. And I was thinking, okay, what can I do? So then I reached out to Ryan Reynolds, and he's the loveliest guy. And he recorded, it was like literally, I think 9 hours later.
Yeah.
There's no get, and that was overnight, because I messaged at night.
Yeah.
And so literally the following morning, I woke up to this message from Ryan Reynolds, video message, which I sent to you.
Jay, it's Ryan. We have a mutual friend in Sarah O'Connell, and I just heard the news through Sarah that you're going through a really shitty time, and I just wanted to send a video and let you know that I'm thinking about you. I'm whispering because my children are asleep. Thank fuck. So yeah, this is just a little quiet time in the house, which is nice. Anyway, I know that words are probably way too clumsy to express what it is that you're going through, but I want you to know that I'm in your corner, and I hope that I get to meet you in person one of these days. I'm sending you tons of love, Jay. Okay, bye.
How did you feel when you saw that?
Like everyone else I've shown it, they were like, whoa, we were blown away, absolutely blown away. The fact that he said my name was like, wow, it was such a lovely message. And I felt it wasn't just going through the motions either. He looked, it was really heartfelt, real heartfelt thing. And I've always thought he was a nice guy, and he just come across as a nice guy, giving a nice message to someone that he doesn't even know. And even the fact that at the end of it, he said, "I really hope we get to meet in person one day," which is quite an odd thing to say, really, for a celebrity, isn't it? Because, he must get fed up with having to meet people. But he said that, and I was like, wow, that was a really nice thing to say.
Yeah. Some people play superheroes in movies, but he is one in real life.
Mm.
And there was no hesitation. He just did it.
Not all heroes wear capes.
Yeah, exactly. And Deadpool doesn't, to be fair.
No, he'd look a bit stupid, wouldn't he?
I think he could rock it.
Yeah, do you reckon?
If he so chose.
There's a brown cape.
They'd probably switch in every movie, so they have a different toy or something to release.
Yeah.
But so you get this video message. Ryan Reynolds says he'd love to meet you one of these days. And then a month later, fast forwarding a little bit, you have.
Yes.
So it's been a whirlwind for you, I guess, since that. Can you tell me about that day, just from waking up in the morning? Tell me how you got to Wrexham.
Right, okay. So what I'll do, I'll just scoot back just a couple of weeks, if that's okay, because it was Joe from Right By You, which it's like a team of nurses who look after palliative. They're like palliative care nurses, and they're ever and she was keeping on at me about, we've got to sort your wish out. We must sort your wish out. And I'm like, oh, all right, okay, leave it with me. And I was trying to think of something we could do as a family, because like I've said in a previous interview, I don't want it's all about me, because there's going to be a point where me is gone and I'm not going to remember anything anyway. So their memories are what are important to me at the moment. So I turned around to her and said, what about if we get to Wrexham, watch a game, and meet Ryan Reynolds at the same time? And all three of them were like, yeah, that's a great idea. That's a great idea. So I went back to Jo. Now, she contacted a company called, a little charity rather, called Bucket List Wishes. And they're a little charity based in Berkshire.
Yeah.
So they spent hours, I think it was like 20 volunteer hours, and so much time trying to get hold of Wrexham, but no one was reaching out to them. So Sam, bless him, said, what about if I just try tweeting like with Ryan Reynolds in it and just see if he sees it, and you never know.
Yeah.
So he tweeted Ryan Reynolds, blah, 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 whatever it was he put. And with that, some girl just messaged him and said, oh, hi, Sam, I'm really touched by your story. Can I retweet it? And he was like, yeah, of course. So with that, like, she had like 30, 40,000 views. And all of a sudden, BBC Wales then contacted Sam. And a lovely guy said, can I do like a Zoom meeting with you and your family? Well, A, Deb don't really like those sort of things, and B, she was going out anyway. So Sam, Jess, and I sat on the sofa with my laptop. We met him, told him my story, and thought that was it. Next minute, it was just all over the internet, and this fan's dying wish. He's trying to get to Wrexham to meet his idol, blah 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 blah, and it just went everywhere. And then all of a sudden, Bucket List Wishes, got hold of Debbie to say, Ryan's actually been in touch with us. He was asking where are they sitting, because I think a couple of companies managed to donate or give up their seats so that we could sit together.
Yeah, so because that match was Wrexham versus Boreham Wood, it was a huge, really important match, and it was very, very much sold out, wasn't it?
Well, of all the games that we could have gone to as well, of all the games we could have met him, it was at this one. So yeah, we had all that, and then Ginny was saying, Ryan saying he'll find you, and somehow that come out in the internet on somewhere. It put Ryan says to fan, I'll find you. And I'm saying to Deb, when I meet this guy, I don't know whether I'm supposed to shake his hand or kiss him at the moment, because it's turning into a bit of a love story. Ryan, I'll find you. And it was quite funny. So yeah, fast forward, it all gets arranged. First of all, I was being Radio 5 Live wanted to do an interview with me 7 o'clock that morning.
Yeah.
So I did a little. I'd already done obviously a BBC Radio Wales interview about it, and then BBC Radio 5 Live wanted to do an interview, so I did one with them. They were ever so nice, and they were sort of, obviously talking about the build up, and they're sort of, basically we're being picked up in a minute and we'll be off, blah blah blah. So that went well. 8:30 outside, a great big stretched silver Bentley limo turns up. The driver comes out, he's got a bottle of bubbly. He's like, right, I've got a bottle of bubbly for you. And I didn't drink, but Deb and the kids had a little flute glass each of it. And off we went up to Wrexham. So he took us straight to the hotel, because what they wanted to do, they wanted to get me there a little bit earlier before the game, because they said, you want Jay to have a little bit of rest before he gets to Wrexham, which I thought was quite nice. So we went to the hotel, had a little bit of food there, and then got picked up another company, a guy called Gethin. He contacted the Bucket List Wish people and said, look, I've got 2 really nice Mercedes cars. Myself and another chap are on hand. We would like to pick Jay up and get him to the football, and then what time suits him, get him back to the hotel. So yeah, not only did we have one car, we had 2 cars turned up. So the kids had their own car, and then Deb and I had our own car, which was nice.
Amazing.
So we got proper chauffeur driven to the football, and he took us straight. I don't know if you've seen the Welcome to Wrexham series at all, but anyone who's seen,
I love it.
You know the car park that always gets videoed outside. Yeah. Well, we go straight into that. I recognised it straight away. I'm like, oh my god, this is the car park that you see all the players come out. And immediately I got out of the car, a guy come up to me and started shaking my hand and said, oh, I'm so glad you've made it. I'm so glad you've made it. Well done. I hope you have a great day. So obviously he must have been following it off the internet, realised who it was. And I'm like, wow. And I don't know if it was Sam or Deb or someone said to me, have you just been recognised? And I think I have. And then we met with a guy called John. He took us into the stadium. He said, Rob, what we're going to do, we're going to take you down the bottom end of the pitch, because if Ryan comes over near here, it will just be a frenzy and you won't get any time at all with him. So basically, we went through the barrier, and Wrexham have got a stadium that's being rebuilt.
Yeah.
We stood basically by there, and we were sort of halfway between the goal and the corner flag behind the goal. And he said, yeah, he'll be over shortly, and we're waiting. And he went, yeah, any minute now he's coming. And I looked across the pitch, and you could see him walking across the pitch towards us. And I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. And he climbed over the barrier and come and said hello, hugged us ridiculously. He's a proper hugger. And it's not just it was like full on, come here, man. I want to take some of your soul while I'm doing it, sort of thing. It was lovely. You just felt really loved.
Yeah.
And he just started saying, I've got this glove that I wore in Deadpool 2. And he said, I want you to have this one, because I've got 2, and I want you to have this one. And he said, I may well give this one, the left one, to Ben Foster if he does what he's been doing, basically. So the next minute, I'm like, wow, thank you so much. And then in the next breath, he sort of said, one of the first things he did say to me was actually, so you're friends with Sarah O'Connell? And I said, yes, I am. He said, so how's that come about? And I said, well, we were friends since babies. We've known each other. We live on the same street,
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, wow, that's pretty cool. And then just before he sort of like, we were whisked off to our photos, he said something that you just said to me earlier on, which I found really strange. And I thought, how do you possibly know, or where are you getting this from? And he said, so many people love you out there, Jay. And I'm like, thank you. But I'm like, but how do you know? How do you, Ryan Reynolds? I mean, I could understand you knowing Sarah, because you're on my Facebook. You anything I see, you see, and you can read everything.
Yeah.
How does Ryan Reynolds know that a lot of people love me? But I thought it was lovely. But all of a sudden I was given this. I don't know if you can read it. Jay, I love you. And then he signed it Ryan Reynolds. And basically that's the glove. He's even got RR written in there. I don't know if that's right. So he knows which hand the glove goes on or not. I don't know. But this will stay in the family forever. And long after I'm gone, then it'll always be a reminder of what a lovely day we had out there. And and then the scenes afterwards was just magnificent as well. Just to share that moment with the Wrexham fans. It was wonderful, really.
Yeah, because they got promoted, didn't they, up to League 2?
Yeah, and won the league as well, and lifted the trophy there and everything. But the time with Ryan Reynolds was amazing. We had 20 minutes with him. It wasn't even like a 5 minutes high by. He grabbed Deb and the kids and made sure he spoke with them and got photos with them. First thing he said to Sam was, God, you're tall. I mean, Ryan's tall, he's 6'4". But he went to Sam, what are you, like 6'1" or something? And Sam laughed and spoke to him. But he did make us feel very special. And then to top it off, I turned around to him and said, I really hope I'll be around, not knowing that it was November 24, so I'd be very lucky if I am. But I did turn around and say, I'd love to be around when Deadpool 3 comes out. And he said, oh, well, we're filming that in 6 weeks, and it's in London. You should come up. And he went, no, hang on a minute. Let's get that done. Right. 6 weeks time, you're going to come up. You can come and watch some of the filming of Deadpool, and we'll go and do lunch or something.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's exactly what I said. I'm like, wow, thank you. That'd be great. So, but what I like about Ryan as well, some of these A-listers, you'll say something to him and it's like in one ear, out the other, even if you got in one ear. Well, Deb made sure that she mentioned bucket list wishes to him. She said, look, Ryan, I just want you to know that it was bucket list wishes that worked really hard on all this. And if it wasn't for them, and he remembered them. Do you know what I mean? He's been in touch with them to say thank you and all sorts. So that's amazing. And then when Sam messaged him the other day, because he started following Sam on Twitter, and obviously Sam's running around the house like he's like that thing out of Over the Hedge. He's just running like a lunatic. He's follow me on Twitter. He's following me on Twitter. And then
I did the same thing.
You did the same.
Most exercise I've ever got.
Yeah, and I think we all would. Let's be fair. If a Hollywood A-lister followed you particularly, because I like it when you pop up to say, "Oh my God, so and so's following me now," and I think, "God, that must be an amazing feeling." So him and Deb sat down and thought, let's send him a message. So he sent him a message to say, thank you so much for everything you did for us the other day. You made my dad's day and everything. And it was a really nice message back. He said, "Sam, it was so nice meeting you and your family." He said, "Your dad is an exceptional man. I must admit, I was really choked up after I met him. But, if I could be as strong as he is through that, then, it'd be great. But looking forward to seeing you at the filming." So it's not like an empty promise,
No, not at all.
It will happen, and I'm certain of it.
No, it's so great. And yeah, I spoke to Ryan the other day, and he said the same thing. He had such a high opinion of you, and was so happy to meet you too.
Yeah, we felt that though. I know it sounds weird, like, because you don't think you'll ever make an impact on like a celebrity's life, but I felt like I did a little bit, and I think it's because when we met, I wasn't like, "Oh, I loved you in Free Guy. Oh, I loved you in this. Oh, I loved you in that." We just had a genuine chat, and I think all he could think in his mind is, "This guy's dying. This guy's dying," and all he wanted to do was meet me and just talk human talk. And I think his empathy must have kicked in somewhere, because I think he's got 4 kids, hasn't he? And he's married, and he must have thought, how would I feel if this horrible disease took me away from my babies, And I know he did say to one, I think it was the BBC, he said, "I could just tell how much, Deb and the kids are going to miss him when he's gone." And I really do think, we have got a little bit of an attachment there, you know what I mean, in one way or another. And I'd hopefully, I've said to, I've obviously said to Deb as well, now you've got a contact with him, I'd like him to know when that time comes as well. I'd like him to know that I've gone, just so he so he knows, he knows that my chapter's over, and but I'll just want him to know how happy he made me while I am still here, because he really has. He's sort of changed my life this week so far. It's been absolutely mental.
It has just a bit, hasn't it? Before we get into that, can I just ask, have you been wearing the glove all the time now?
Oh, yeah, in bed. Excellent. Yes, I mean, that's the one thing. Ryan must have the same size hand as me, because this fits like a glove. There's no way me and OJ could get away with it this time. You know what I mean? That glove fits perfectly. But yeah,
that means you can't acquit.
No, I can't. I'm not. I was not like that. I'm not going, "I can't get my hand into it." No, it fits absolutely perfect. It's funny because had all this not happened, I was very close to actually buying a complete Deadpool costume.
Well, yeah, in our private interview thing that we did, you mentioned that at the time.
Yeah, and I was literally, I reckon, another week, and I would have said to my mate, "Look, can I buy this off you?" Because he had it for sale for ages, and I thought, what a cool thing to have to wear to conventions and things, and but obviously now I wouldn't get it now, because A, we'd be lumbered with it, and B, I couldn't really wear it anyway, sort of thing, and act like Deadpool. But no, that would have been so cool. But no, to be honest, I'm quite glad I've got that glove instead.
Well, now you're collecting the actual real thing.
Yeah, exactly. I just got to get the rest of it now.
Yeah, it's like one of those magazines where you get a bit of something every month and you have to build it all.
Yeah, I think I've got to beat up Ben Foster to get his left glove, but I don't know where the rest of the body is. I need to find that out.
You could probably just ask for it.
Yeah, Ryan, can I have the rest of the costume? Yes, thank you.
It's amazing. And so something I thought about last night, you may have seen I interviewed an author called TJ Newman, and she was returning on my show to speak about her brand new novel, Drowning, which is out at the end of May and beginning of June in the UK. And as it happened, I was her first ever interview 2 years ago.
Wow.
And she kindly wanted to come back on my show to celebrate her new book that was coming out and talk about that too. But then I was thinking, hang on a minute. I was your first ever interview too. But then since that, so we had like a practice 3-4 hour chat. But since that, tell me what's happened. So you go to Wrexham, you meet Ryan Reynolds. How many interviews have you done since that? Because honestly, everywhere I go on the internet seems to have you on it now, which is the best.
Oh no, I went through a few days where every time I opened up Facebook, at least 2 or 3 people had tagged me in a different media platform that had shared the story.
Yeah.
I mean, I've done BBC Wales Online twice live. I've done Radio 5 live twice live. Both of them have said, if we can catch up with you a little bit in the future, then would that be okay? And I was like, yeah, sure. They were lovely as well. They were really, really nice interviews. And I feel like how everything that's been portrayed about me and what I've been through has been nice. You know, there's been no twisting. It's been all 100% pure. You know, I feel there's so many horrible stories in the universe out there. And I think it's almost like they thought, do you know what? We need a feel-good story. And I think this is what's fueling this. It's a feel-good story. You know, a guy who's dying, he's got kids, he's got a wife, and he's met he's met one of his idols, and it's made him so happy, and he can still be happy even with everything that he's going through. You know, instead of thinking, well, I'm dying, why do I want to meet anyone? You know, I just want to sit here and die. He's gone, no, do you know what? I want to live my life. I'm going to get everything I can out between that point where, you know, that'll be the end, you know. So I've done those 4 interviews. I had, while I was on BBC Wales Online, you know, that video one that's been going on Facebook that's been shared a lot.
Yeah,
it's actually me and not just me, not them reporting. Well, that was actually went out to BBC Wales Online, and they video you, but obviously you just get a blank screen back. You don't see who you're talking to. And I didn't know they were going to do that. I just thought they were just going to use the words and obviously use me for the show, for that actual episode. And no, it was like, wow, when I saw my video on, and I actually was quite pleased really, because I didn't sit there picking my nose or anything. I seemed to come across quite well.
Huge relief.
Tell me, yeah, I was like, oh, God, I don't look too bad. I actually, you know, my mannerisms are all right. I'm not sat there thinking no one's looking at me, I can do what I want, sort of thing. And then as that was just before that went on air, my phone, I don't know how it happened, but if someone phones my hi at work, it sometimes, not very always, rings my phone. But all of a sudden my phone started ringing and the hi phone started ringing. So I'm hanging it up thinking, God, I've got bloody thingy on the air in a minute. Thought nothing of it. I come out of it because I was actually at work while that was happening. It was 7:07, I think it was. So I was in the office and I've walked out and my boss he's having a cup of tea in the tea room area. And I went, oh, that went really well. He said, yeah, I'm glad it did, you media tart. You got bloody Wave 105 after you now. I thought he was just joking.
Yeah.
But apparently that was who was ringing. They were ringing to see if they could have an interview. So I phoned Charlotte Butt back and she was lovely. And she's the first one I've actually did a live one-to-one like this with.
Yeah.
Where I could see her and she could see me, but it wasn't going out live. She was just interviewing me because I kept seeing her sort of looking up. And then eventually she said, I'm not being rude. I've got to go on air in a minute to read the weather or something like that, she said. I'm like, no, you go whenever you want, as long as you've got what you want. And then a few hours later, I was on site. Oh, no, funny. I went on site and it was a secure building where we go on this job, and the receptionist comes up and actually unlocks the door for you. And no word of a lie, I've opened the door's fallen over, and she's gone, you're famous. And I went, what? She went, I saw you this morning on BBC TV. And I went, really? She went, yeah, you met Ryan Reynolds, didn't you? She went, God, you're famous, you are. And we laughed. And then the guy who I was meeting on the job come through, and he went, hey, hello, Mr. Celebrity. And we had a bit of a laugh and a joke. And then an hour later, Daily Echo contacted me through Facebook Messenger. Could I get in contact? So I gave this she's a lovely lady, Lorelei, I think her name is, pretty name, but she contacted me. I gave her my number and she rung. Again, we did an over the phone interview, which she put in the paper, and word for word perfect as well. That's right, I'll have another one as well. Word for word perfect. It was lovely, you know. I thought, wow. Normally, you do an interview with this media, and they will cock something up, they spell something wrong. Out of the whole thing, the only thing that was wrong actually was, I think, BBC News Wales put I worked in West Sussex, and I read. Oh no, sorry, it wasn't then. I think it was Western News or something. Someone put West Sussex, and I said, "Oh, can I just change that? It's actually East Sussex I work in." And they're like, "That's fine." And that's the only mistake anyone had made about anything. Oh no, originally they said lung cancer, and we were a little bit upset about that because the amount of people, you know what people are like, they'd be like, oh, lung cancer, it's his own bloody fault then if he's been smoking. Never smoked a cigarette in my life. All it is because the tumour is there and it's also spread to my lungs, so they've just cottoned on to that.
Yeah, of course.
So I did the interview her, and then she messaged me back with what was going to be said, and she said, "Oh, this is going in on page 3 tomorrow." Didn't tell me I was going to be on the front page as well either. And yeah, then I left that. We're about to leave that site, and the receptionist said, "You were just on the radio upstairs a minute ago when we were up in the canteen." I went, "Really?" She went, "Yeah." She said, "I nearly turned round to everyone upstairs. I went, he's downstairs. I was like, "I've got to avoid the stampede," sort of thing. And then the next site I went to, the guy said to me, because I said, I've had a hectic weekend, just been at Wrexham and that. He went, I said, "You know what? One of the blokes in there in the factory said, it come on the radio," and he said, "I wonder if that's Jay who was working here the other week." He went, "Come here," and he sort of marched me through the building, past where I'm supposed to be looking at, the job I'm supposed to be looking at to him, straight past it, straight into this room, and he went, Russ," and he pointed to me, and he went, "Hey, you're famous, mate," and he come out and spoke to me. And he said, "Oh, my missus, she's a huge Ryan Reynolds fan." So he got straight on the phone to his wife to say, "Oh, the guy on that interview's here." And she turned around to him and said, "Oh, you must get a selfie with him." So the bloke went, "Look, my wife said to me, can I get a selfie with you?" And I went, "Yeah, of course you can, mate." So I've done my first selfie as well. And I told him, "You need to put that down as number 1 because that's the first one."
That's amazing. That's so great. And I love that so many more people are getting to know you and know your story and how amazing of a person you are as well.
Thank you.
Very welcome.
I'll do my best.
And so going back to Wrexham for a minute. So
Yeah.
we've spoken about the glove, spoken about meeting Ryan Reynolds, but there was another thing that happened. There happened to be a film crew with him, didn't there?
There did. It's nice of you to notice that, Sarah. Yeah, it was. With Ryan came the Disney Plus filming crew for Welcome to Wrexham season 2. So I'll tell you what, they were brilliant, so professional. I didn't even know they were there.
Yeah.
They just blended in. It was like they had camouflage. You know what I mean? It was weird, really weird. I didn't at any point sort of look at a camera or anything like that. It was amazing. And then at the end of it, we had to sign release forms because they said if you don't sign, we can't use your face on the show. So we were like, yeah. I think there might be a fee for that as well. I don't know whether we get for each person or it's a fee for us as a family, but we've already decided that whatever we make off of that, will go to Bucket List Wishes. We're going to donate it straight to them because they've been amazing. They've been absolutely amazing to us.
So great.
And financially now, we've got the insurance is paid out. I've paid the mortgage off. Today I paid the loan out that we had for the windows. I've paid the loan off. Paid Debbie's car off today. The mortgage is paid off, and financially we're okay at the moment. We've still got money left over from the GoFundMe, which is nice. So the least we could do, instead of being greedy and taking more money for nothing, I'd rather give that to them.
No, it's so great. And I'm going to be so happy if I see you in Welcome to Wrexham. Such a great show.
It is. I think it's only a couple of months away from coming out. So, I'm trying to stay fit and healthy. I spoke to a lovely lady today. A friend of mine is his mum, and apparently she helps people with cancer, and particularly with people like myself who may have a short time to live. And what she tries to do is just through sort of diet and lifestyle, try to get a bit more time for you, and we spoke about sort of diet and things like that. And next week she wants to speak to me again, but she wants Deb to be on air with me as well to talk about it, because I think, because she said, well, she does the cooking, really I need to speak to her. So if it helps me to just drag this out, a few more months of being fit and healthy, because we still got a lot we want to do. I'm not ready to check out just yet. I'm not quite ready yet. I've said I'm not. I did say I want to try and see the rest of the year out. If I could make it to 2024, I think that'd be amazing.
Yeah,
be a push. I think it'd be a push. But if I can, then I'll be grateful for that.
I very much hope that you do.
And I'm wondering if in a fanboys style, that they might let me see a preview of the movie Deadpool 3 before it gets shown. I mean, what do you reckon the chances of that?
Be good.
That would be awesome, wouldn't it?
Well, yeah.
I've got a friend who needs to watch it with me, Sarah. She's got to watch it. If she don't watch it, I could die right now. What do you reckon?
Well, don't do that.
No, but I'll threaten it, and then you can watch it.
That's a lot of pressure.
Yeah. I did say to Ryan, I've been dying to meet you, and unfortunately, I've had to do it. And I think I don't think you know how to take it, because obviously he probably don't realise that I'm at that joke. I mean, we've got a lovely new kitchen going in at the moment, and my wife the other day, she turned around and said, "Jay, can I have your opinion?" I said, "Well, what's the point of having my opinion? I ain't going to see it where I'm going, am I? Do you know what I mean?" So, because we're at that joking stage, I think someone who's probably not at that stage with us might find that a bit.
Yeah, you don't necessarily know what to say, and if someone is joking or whatever, do you, right?
No. Well, I try to put a big smile on my face when I'm doing it, so I think I don't want to come across as dry. I want someone to know that I'm joking.
Yeah, of course. And I noticed the other day, before we get to Deadpool 3, you watched Deadpool 2 again.
I did. Yeah, last
night. I've got here a beautiful, look at this.
Brilliant.
I love this. I had to get it on steelbook. It's got kind of a holographic Deadpool in a pool for some reason.
That's awesome. And I did notice in the background as well behind you.
Deadpool 1.
Yeah, I've clocked that as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was on telly last night, and I had a terrible night's sleep. Unfortunately, last night wasn't a good night for me. I was sick in the night and didn't have a good night. I don't know why. It's nothing illness related. I think I just don't know whether I ate something or it wasn't well. But no, I didn't have a great night last night. Couldn't sleep. I'm looking forward to taking those sedatives tonight. Please work. Deadpool 2 was on the telly, wasn't it? Film 4. So yeah, I watched the beginning scene and I thought, where's my glove? Which bit's my glove? I didn't know whether it's the bit where he sat there about to blow himself up, or the bit where he's in killing all those guys and he's about to get to that bloke when he's asking him to open up and he's looking through the old panic room door. So yeah, it was there somewhere, basically.
All right, so he told you where the actual glove is in the film?
Yeah, he did. I'm pretty sure he said, I'm sure Sam said it was, I'm being nodded at there. It was the beginning of Deadpool 2 filming. So I imagine he has different costumes and different scenes and bits and pieces, but apparently this is from the beginning of Deadpool 2.
Oh, wow.
But the fact that it's screen worn, I mean, someone's told me already it's probably worth about £10,000. A friend of mine phoned me up because he said, look, I know you're not ever going to sell it. He said, but you need to get that insured. You must get that insured. So I sent him some photos so he could get it evaluated by guys online who do that thing, and he had to say, look, guys, don't get excited, this is not for sale, but for this reason we need a value. So someone's finally come back with between 5,000 and 10,000, so he said go for the upper value, just get it insured. Like I said,
it must be worth more now because you've worn it.
I might put another 5 on it, 15.
Yeah,
because I'm only half as good as Ryan. Do you know what I mean? I'm not as good as Ryan, so half as good, 15. Yeah, sounds cool.
I think you're both pretty great.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much.
Very welcome.
It's nice. At least someone loves me out there. That's what.
Yeah.
Ryan was talking about you when he said, so many people love you. I think he meant you.
Yeah. I do sometimes take up a couple of seats. I'm quite crisps.
God, I wish I do. I've lost so much bloody weight. It's ridiculous.
If you want any of mine, you're very welcome to.
What was it you said the other week? You said something and you made my wife absolutely chuckle. Oh, you're in shape.
Yeah, I think I like keeping in shape, but unfortunately that shape is a circle.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Baby's just off screen, by the way. Say hello to Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
Hello.
Chicken. Sorry.
I've got hundreds of people around me as well. This is like a stadium.
Yeah, it's like there's your peripheral vision here, and beyond there's loads of people.
Yeah, and by loads of people, I mean there's a couple of dogs on the floor staring at me mostly.
Oh, bless them. We still need to
19th.
organise that night round as well, must remember.
We do, yes, we will, and we shall.
Yeah, but no, that was funny. I remember Deb was sat by me for doing something, and you said something about that, and she just howled because she just thought, I'm going to use that. I'm using that line. Hopefully, you haven't trademarked it. So
I might rent it to her.
yeah, for a small fee. Would you reckon?
Yeah. Do we do it per use or just for month's use or something?
It's a difficult one, isn't it? I mean, I'd rather. But the trouble is, it's a two-pronged thing, isn't it? Because you could go, I want it per use, and then every time that person uses it, you've got a fee. But if you only say per month, that person can say it loads of times in a month.
So I think that's better value.
So what you reckon, go per month?
I think go per month, yeah.
Okay, we'll work out a fee. We'll work that out. So you can't use it yet, Deb. Hold fire. You'll get sued.
Well, I mean, we can backdate it.
Yeah. Oh, it's being backdated as well. So don't spend any more of that life insurance money.
I haven't used it yet.
What, the life insurance money?
No, the sentence, because I forgot.
She said she hasn't used it yet because she'd forgotten it. Yeah, right. That won't hold up in court, will it?
Well, it probably would. I've got no real good way of checking.
No, true. She does say things sometimes that she says, I've said that, and you're like, you didn't. I did. In the end, you just got to say, yeah, you did. You said it.
This is why I film everything. Just
Yeah,
everything's on my show.
I'm wearing a body cam from now on.
That makes sense.
Yeah, we'll wear a body camera on Deb so I can say, look, watch, record. See, you didn't say it. Oh shit, you did. Okay.
You'll probably have your own travel show soon.
Yeah. The only trouble is I can't travel. It's okay if it's around the UK, I'll be all right.
Oh yeah, I'd watch that.
Yeah, that'd be nice. If anyone out there wants to pay for that for me and Deb, because that was actually one of our things when we wanted to get older. We wanted to get a little camper van, and we wanted to do what Susan Calman's been doing, going around and finding places.
Yeah.
But obviously, that's not going to happen now. So that's why we went to Scotland recently. We did it because of that.
Yeah, I was going to say, because every weekend or quite a lot of weekends you'd be going away and having these little trips out to places. I know you've been to Wales a lot. And is that something you still want to keep doing? Have you still got more plans to go places? Anywhere you'd love to visit?
Yeah, we need to plan. We need to do that soon, really. We want to go to places like the London Dungeon. A couple of us, not all of us, want to do the Millennium Eye. The chicken ones that don't want to go up in it. So I think what the plan is for Deb, the kids, Deb's mum and Bernie, her other half, and my mum and me, obviously, we're all going to go to London. I think we'll have to do it over 2 trips because we've looked into hotels. I think it's quite expensive up there to try and get the hotels unless we can get ones just outside London. But we want to do sort of London Dungeons. I want to do the Tower. London, that looks really cool. So we've got a few things on the back burner we want to do. I've been invited up to Essex to look at this place called Cool Cars. They've got lots of different props from movies and cars. I've also been invited to the prop store, which I think is Watford Way, isn't it? Is it?
Yeah.
Like that. So yeah, me and my friend are going to go up and do that in the next couple of weeks. So yeah, we've still got things in plan.
Excellent. So you also went to Star Wars Celebration, didn't you?
Yes. Yeah. My friend he bought 4 tickets. Him and his friend were earmarked for the other 2, and he gave the other 2 to Sam and I. So he picked us up and we all went up there. We had a fantastic day. It was amazing. Absolutely amazing.
That's so great. Now, here's a question I ask every guest on the Sarah O'Connell show. Can you tell me a fun fact about you, a hobby, a party trick, something like that?
Okay, a fun fact I would say about me is that I used to help. I helped set up and I co-founded an organisation who do conventions, so like local conventions, and we used to get actors from Star Wars and Doctor Who and different movies, Alien versus Predator, you name it. We've had guests along for it. So that's been quite interesting to tell people, that I've met quite a lot of different celebrities, and my job was actually primarily to sort of recruit them sometimes, and then I'd be picking them up from train stations and different places and driving them to here and there, and then on the day I'd look after them as well. So not only was it was a bit like when I met Ryan. It wasn't me sitting there talking to Ryan about, I loved you in this, I loved you in that. I got to speak to these guys as a person, so you get to know them, and it's quite funny because Chris Barry, I met him quite a few times, and it got to a stage where he sort of, like, after about 3 or 4 times, he like recognised me, like, hey, but wouldn't say hi, Jay. And in the end, he finally recognised me, which was quite nice. But I always say the day I made it in the convention scene was I went to someone else's convention in Fordingbridge, and Jeremy Bullock, who played Boba Fett, I walked in, so the back here was where the entrance was, and right at the back of the hall, he was stood, and he was just stood up like that. He was just looking around the hall, just obviously waiting for someone to speak to him or whatever. And he's sort of looking around, and then all of a sudden he clocked me, and he sort of nodded, and he sort of did the old gun at me, and I'm like, oh my God, Boba Fett just shot me. Boba Fett just shot me. And that was huge because I love Jeremy. When he passed away, I was gutted, but I absolutely adored that bloke. He was the nicest guy as well. Him and his wife were lovely. And she messaged me the other night, actually, completely random.
Really?
Hadn't spoke to her for about 10 years.
Mm.
And she messaged me, oh, hi, Jay, I hope you're well. Do you remember Sammy Sausage? Because we still call our grandson Sausage, and they must be about the same age now. And I remember it because it was at one of our events, and Jeremy was along, and Sam was only little, and she was calling Sam like Sammy Sausage. And yeah, and I remember the conversation. And the other week I was actually at the hall and I was talking about it. I went, actually, this is the exact point it happened, and I was actually at the point because that's where we did our convention that he come along to.
Yeah.
And I did a reply to her saying, oh my God, I'm stunned, because this was like it must have been 10 years ago. I said, I'm stunned that you remember this, but yes, I do remember Sammy Sausage. But I think her grandson's about 20 now, obviously a bit older than Sam. But yeah, I thought it was really sweet that she sort of reached out and remembered that. Really, I find that quite, well, mind-blowing, really, that after all these years she somehow remembered that and messaged me about it. It was lovely.
Yeah, I think you leave a lasting impression on everyone you meet, and I think you're learning that more and more, that you mean a lot to a lot of people, and it's so nice just seeing you being celebrated and everything.
Do you know what, Sarah? It's really weird, and I mean this in a totally non-arrogant way. Please don't, anyone who watches, don't think this comes across as arrogant, because that's the last thing I am. But I really feel that like this last couple of days has given me a little bit of fame, to the point where, like, when I do die, I don't think it will just be known amongst my family. I think something will be said, and in this light, do you know what I mean? In this same sort of light, that people other than my family and my friends will know that I finally passed. And everyone will remember, oh, that was the guy who went to Wrexham, and oh, how sad. And I do feel that it might touch a lot of people as well, like the fame side of things it's nice. I've only seen one. Debbie said she's seen a couple of nasty comments. I haven't, but I saw one that was a little bit hurtful. But do you know what? All I did was I just clicked on the person's name, went block, so I'd never have to see anything from them again. And then sat and read through 300 people that had wrote nice things about me. And each one I put a heart on. And on a few, if they were really special messages, I actually replied, because one person called me that I'm the dad of the year. And that actually nearly made me cry, because I was like, oh my God, if that how it comes across, then thank you, because, I do everything for my children, So to be called dad of the year by some guy that I don't even know. And another bloke just said, oh, I wish I was half the man that you were. And it was like, wow, these people saying such nice things about me. And I said in my interview, I'm no one special. And I can remember one girl's comment. She put, I bet when you said I'm no one special, your family was shouting out, yes, you are.
Oh, yeah, you are.
Hopefully to people I am, that's nice. It's nice to know that people care. I've heard a lot of people say that they cried when they found out that
I did.
Cancer. I haven't even cried. I'll be honest. I've cried for Deb, and I've cried for the kids. I've not cried for me, because for me, it's like, well, okay, this chapter's coming to an end. I'm just going to be going on to the next. I feel like, when you go level 2 on the Mario Brothers or something, you know what I mean? Yeah. I'm going on to level 2. it's these guys that have got to cope without me. I mean, I just feel sorry for my kids. I can't imagine, the amount of people I see on Facebook on Father's Day, oh, Dad, I miss you, lost you so many years ago. And these guys are only young. Like one of our friends, I'm sure he was like about 11 when his dad died. It's like, you should never lose your dad that young. I should be an old fogey getting on their nerves. They should be wiping my bum in a blooming care home sort of thing. That's what should be happening. But, okay, it's not going to happen. But I think I've left enough memories for them to treasure, and we still are making memories. It's not over yet. I'm not, like I said, I'm not ready to check out yet. So let's keep making memories while I can.
Exactly. And can you tell me, how would you like to be remembered?
You know what? First and foremost, and I think probably will be, is the fact that it was a guy that he was told that he was terminally ill, and not once did he feel sorry for himself or ask why me. You know what I mean? He just took it on the chin. It was like, okay, fair enough. That's what's happened. There's nothing I can do about it, And also, hopefully, that someone that just loved his family and everything he did, all ever since 2001 when I married Deb, of everything I've done has always been for my family, not for me. I've never done much for myself, which is not that I've deprived myself. I've had a fantastic life so far. I've really enjoyed it. But as far as I was concerned, my kids come along and my life sort of went on hold a little bit because everything was for them. And that's hopefully how I'll be remembered.
It's amazing. And yeah, I think that person saying you're Dad of the Year, that's why. It's because you put your kids first, which is what parents should do.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think so. I think you should. And if you don't, then probably something a little bit wrong with you parenting wise, I'm afraid.
Absolutely. If you could give a message to the world, what would it be?
Just don't be horrible to each other. You know what I mean? Stop this hatred, because it does break my heart when I see all the hatred in the world. It's the only thing. Like, part of me, I keep saying to people, like, because of what are people like in this world, I'm quite glad I'm checking out of it, if I'm honest. You know what I mean? Because there's some horrible people about, and they do the horriblest things, and then this happens, and then I see all the love that's been thrown at me as well, and I think, okay, people aren't that bad, and if people could just be kind to each other, I think, and it's a shame because it's such an easy thing as well. This whole world could be such a nice place if people did a simple thing, and that is care about other people. But it's almost like humanity is not capable of doing it. I don't know why they can't do it. But I suppose if you believe in God, you've got to believe in the devil. And I suppose the devil's the one that's in charge of all the bad stuff on earth. And then I suppose he's the one that's making these horrible people the way they are. That's my assumption.
As you said, you got a couple of horrible messages, but hundreds of amazing ones. I think what happens sometimes is that the nasty people, they're 10 times louder. Yeah. And it seems like that it drowns out everything else, and that's all you can hear and what you read in newspapers and on TV sometimes. But while they're trying to spread all that hatred, there really is a lot of love in this world. I've seen it and experienced it, and that's what's important. And, if someone's horrible to you or says something nasty, that's just a reflection on them.
I think so. The fact that they've looked at something, and did they see that did they even see that this was a terminally ill person? And then to be able to write, it's funny. The other day I had a bit of a weird. I'm in a. Funny enough, it's in a group called Positivity and something or other, and someone posted a picture up. It was like of two slightly portly people with a new dog, and the meme was, "Great, I'm not going for a walk ever again." And one person did like a cry face. So I commented, "Oh, so and so, I see, like me, you don't really find these sort of things funny." And this other guy sort of saying about being a snowflake, blah, blah, blah. And I said, "No, I'm not a snowflake at all. But I just don't think taking the mickey out of people's appearances for the gain of, Jess did the other week. She took a picture of someone on a platform because it was a slightly tubby girl in a crop top, and she brought it home and said, "Oh God, look at this!" And I nearly cried. I said, "That is so cruel. That girl has got parents who, if they saw what you did now, that would break their heart. How would you feel if that was a picture of you someone were laughing over?" And I didn't bring you up like that. So delete that picture and don't ever do it again. And that's the sort of thing I mean. It's just not, I don't find it funny. And I don't think it got through because this other girl said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'll delete my comment. I didn't mean anything by it." In the end, I had a private message her to say, "Look, no, love, I don't mean that. This is what I mean. It breaks my heart when," and she agreed with me in the end. She's like, "Oh, no, I understand. No." And I said, "Because you put a cry, I thought that was crying because you didn't like it." Apparently, my son told me that, you know, the crying thing could mean laughing now as well. I didn't know that. I'm not with all this bloody 21st century crap. But no, I just don't like it. I don't see how anything about someone's appearance can be like, you know, funny. I actually feel sorry. I think to myself, God, if that was me, I wouldn't want to go out. And a few years ago, when this person put this comment about me, and it was in foreign as well, they must have been Spanish or Mexican or something. So I had to translate it to see what they put. You know, a few years ago, I would have broke my heart. That would have upset me more. Like you said, that's 10 times worse than the 300 nice comments.
Right.
But after what I've been through, I'm like, whatever. I don't care. Do you know what I mean? If that's what you think I look like, if that's how you think I look, you know, so what? You know, I can't help it. I've got no hair and I've lost a bit of weight. Do you know what I mean? It's not my sort of fault. But hey, I don't care. Whatever.
You know, I always find online too, people that say negative comments about other people, 9 times out of 10, they haven't posted a photo of themselves. They haven't got their real name up.
And their profile picture's not them either, is it?
Yeah. I always think this with articles as well. So you'll get ones where they're just in tabloids, trashy ones where they're just ripping to pieces what somebody looks like, or this person's just stepped out of bed to get their mail or something, and it's just a brutal article. It's like, okay, write that, but then post a photo of what you look like when you're writing it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You wouldn't, would you?
No. Because again, would you say that to that person? Would he say that to my face? If he stood in front of me now, would that guy have said that to my face? No, because it's too easy to go type it out and walk away from it. But I think the trouble is, in this world, people don't realise the ramifications of their actions, and this is why I try to get it through to my kids. Some people are one comment away from suicide, you know, and could you imagine being that last comment because you thought it was funny to jump in and say something, and that guy's jumped in front of a train or hung himself because of that, because that's just awful.
Yeah, it's absolutely horrific. Can you tell me what you've got planned next? I know, so in 6 weeks, Deadpool 3.
Yes.
Very exciting. Which studio is that again?
Pinewood
Studios.
Yeah.
They've done loads of amazing stuff there, haven't they? Over the
007 buildings there, isn't it?
Yeah, just a bit. I've been there a few times watching Taskmaster be filmed.
Oh, okay. Yes.
That's always good fun.
So they have open sets there then sometimes, do they? Because I've only ever been there on a business thing. So I've gone in to the buildings, but only into the prop areas where they're building props and things. So I've never actually, this will be my first time on a film set. So I don't know how much we'll get to see or what we'll get to see. People keep saying to me, actually, sorry, I digress, wouldn't it be great if they gave you a walk on path?
I literally was thinking that myself.
Well, I'm thinking if I go up in my wheelchair, I've got Professor Xavier here. Come on.
Perfect.
Go, it was already broken like that when I got here. Wheeling through.
That'd be amazing if that happened, wouldn't it?
It would be, yeah. I'd do it as well. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Because the weird thing is, I don't know if I told you, but I don't suffer with any anxiety anymore over anything. Nothing.
Yes.
Nothing like those. Them three were like, you know, a pooping dog, sort of, you know, shaking or waiting to meet Ryan, and I was just stood there, just cool as a cucumber, because of everything I've been through. I'm not nervous, so I'd be the same as well. If they said to me, you know, would you like to go on set? Yeah, sure, let's do it. Where do you want me? Where's makeup? Come on.
Or you could, at the very least, be a Deadpool hand stunt double because you've got the glove.
Yes, that would be something, wouldn't it? Give me the costume and I'll do one scene where I walk on as Deadpool. That would suit me.
Yeah. That'd be so amazing. My final question, have you got any messages for people watching the Sarah O'Connell show and now your fans around the world?
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for making a dying man like happy, because I am. It's weird, people, if somebody's dying, maybe they're supposed to be happy. I think, but it's weird. I'll drive along in my car because I listen to Heart Dance and I love all that music, and I'll be like, oh, I love this song, and I'll crank it up and put my foot down a little bit like I did as a 17-year-old. And then part of me like, what are you doing this for? You're dying. And I'm like, so what? So yeah, everyone's nice comments has just made me so happy. And again, thank you to Bucket List Wishes for their hard work. And most of all, thank you to my wife Deb for caring all the way through this with me, because without her, I would never have had the strength to recover from it. She put her life on hold for about 7 months while and she still has now, to be fair. But yeah, ultimately, she's my rock.
Well, it's been an honour chatting to you again, and I always loved to, and I was delighted when you reached out to me and said you'd love to come on my show and have a public chat as well.
Yeah.
Go over everything that's happened, and yeah.
Well, I just thought you need, of all the people who've benefited from one of my interviews, I thought you should as well. Like I said, I don't know if this is going to be any good for your show, whether it'll get any viewers or what, but if it does and it gives you a bit of notoriety, you deserve it, because everything you've done for me as well. Also thank you, Sarah, because you've done so much for me, and I'm truly grateful. You really have. Just remember, no matter what happens, even at the end, you did a lot for me, and you made me a happy person, and I'm really grateful. Thank you.
Oh, my show, and I'm trying not to cry, my show is to celebrate people that I love, and I love you. And yeah, just thank you so much for coming here and telling your story. And hopefully this interview will go out to people and you'll inspire people for generations to come in your message as well.
I'm sorry if I've waffled on anything. I am a waffler.
I like waffles. I'm mostly potato based.
Excellent. That's excellent. Yeah. I'm like what's the one that 11 likes, those egg waffle things that she likes. That's me.
The round ones, Eggos.
Eggos, yeah. I waffle like an Eggo. So
probably confusing people in America. So in England we have breakfast waffles, but also potato based waffles as well.
Yeah, and they're nice, but we don't have them. Well, yeah, you can have them for breakfast, can't you? I mean, I probably wouldn't, but some do, I suppose.
Yeah, have them anytime you want, really.
No, but yeah, the feeling's mutual. The love back for you is mutual. Thank you so much.
And thank you. I mean, we'll keep speaking after this interview, but thank you again for coming on my show, and thank you to everybody watching at home. Be sure to share, subscribe, give this video a big thumbs up, and leave lots of lovely comments. And I'll see you all again soon for another episode of the Sarah O'Connell Show. Bye.
Big like.
And lots of love to you as well, Jay.
And you, my love.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for that. That was good. That was, I hope that helps you anyway.
Thank you. Hi, Ryan. I was so appreciative of you doing that video for my friend Jay. I thought I'd do one for you, but I didn't just want to have me in it, so I've got a special guest.
Hi, Ryan. Just wanted to say thank you so much for everything you did for us last week. We had the greatest time, and we were so appreciative of the time you spent with us. I've even got a little wooden hand now to go into the glove. Looking forward to seeing you again in the summer at the filming. Dead excited about it, and I cannot wait, and so can the family. You take care.
Lots of love.
Bye-bye. No, you take care of yourself, my love.
No, you too. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. You take care.
You too.
See you, mate.
Speak to you later. Bye.
Bye-bye.